Chaplain Dillard initiates creating and posting these videos. Their contents and YouTube's linked videos do not necessarily reflect specific beliefs, practices, requirements, or endorsements of the Department of Defense, its subordinate organizations, or other groups with which Chaplain Dillard is affiliated.
Welcome back. Today we are starting a series on the 5-factor analysis, also commonly known as the Big Five. This is a type of personality assessment that can be very helpful and is gaining in popularity, well established in reliability and validity in several scholarly studies. You can easily Google those yourself, or Yahoo or Bing or whatever you prefer. Let's jump right into the significance of the Big Five or any personality instrument, and then we'll get more specific. We typically seek to identify personality in order to understand motivations and to predict behaviors. Whether you're talking about looking at a potential fiance, or trying to understand your work team, or wondering why your weekend softball team isn't getting along, understanding personality is all about preference, generally in some very specific areas. And it's usually about the why of their actions, their motivations, and what's coming next. Usually because there's some unknowns, there's some conflict, there's something going on that makes you want to understand where it's coming from inside and how it's manifesting outside or is likely to manifest tomorrow. Many instruments assess personality more narrowly than the Big Five. For example, DISC measures 2 different factors. Myers-Briggs measures 4 different factors. And I won't go into those. In fact, I have separate series on both DISC and Myers-Briggs. You can check those out if you'd like to. And here are the 5. Openness, an eagerness to learn from others even when they see things differently. Conscientiousness, they see a problem and they act to fix the problem, whatever it is. Extroversion, they are energized by being around lots of people and talking with them. Agreeableness, they show a genuine concern and help to strengthen people in relationships. And neuroticism, they are reactive and not self-controlled, particularly in negative events or toward negative events. Now, I'll do future videos on each of these and also some general applications to family and work and maybe some other groups. But let's go ahead and begin to look at how the Big Five is better than some 2-factor and 4-factor analyses. First, the 5-factor analysis is designed to assess a person-environment fit quantitatively and qualitatively. Quantitatively in 5 of each areas, and qualitatively because you can scale them on each of these 5 areas to say that they are low or high in each of the 5 areas. Low doesn't necessarily mean bad, and high doesn't necessarily mean good, but it is about a fit to a specific environment. So a person in a family may need to be very critical, a problem solver, not critical in the sense of being negative or disrespectful to others, but they may need to focus on problems if they're taking care of the budget. So that they're nitpicking where's every nickel and dime going so that it adds up. Somebody at work may need to be very, very open to learn from others who think very differently than themselves. Others might need to be more narrowly focused and not considering other things because they work in a very black and white field. So the low and the high is not about bad or good, but about how they would fit in a particular environment, and it addresses both their inward motivations and their external behavior, which is generally predictive because that's their default setting. You can see the works of John I Holland, a Johns Hopkins University professor emeritus, who developed this theory for 6 career types. And those types, you can look those up for yourself, but Myers-Briggs was looking, for example, to fit women into particular jobs during the World War. I believe it was the First World War, might have been the Second. But a more narrow field, and Holland was looking at several different types of career types. Now, after he developed the theory, P.T. Costa Jr. and R.R. McCrae validated its much broader application within families, within social teams, within agrarian societies, within industrial societies, within different subcultures, because the validity is so strong it can be very broadly applied, and the reliability as well. In fact, there are several cross-cultural tests in over 50 different societies across 6 continents. We should note, however, that extreme lack of resources and education can limit the foci to 2 out of the 5, and that's generally agreeableness and conscientiousness. Because you can imagine if a society is really struggling in poverty and they don't have access to higher education, so they're only dealing with what they've been traditionally taught, they're concerned with how do people get along, agreeableness, and how hard do they work to survive, conscientiousness. Now, if you want to experience the power of the Big Five, you can follow these simple instructions. Identify a small group, about 3 to 10 people, with whom you regularly interact, your family, your work team, etc., and then contact me at jeffrey.d.dillard.mill@mail.mil for the URL to a survey for your group. And I'll email this out to you, and you can take it, and it will, and as you rate each individual or scale each individual from this is never true of them to this is always true of them, I will email those results back to you, and you can see how people line up. If you see that as you self-assess and assess others in the group, if everybody lines you up kind of here as opposed to there in a particular domain, that lends a lot of validity and reliability to this is probably who you are in this aspect of personality. If it's scattered across, that may indicate that people don't know you very well, or it may indicate that what you hope to project is something different than what they see, or that people only see you in certain contexts, which also means they don't know you very well. But that will mean that they probably don't understand why you do what you do in those contexts, and they don't know how to anticipate your behavior. Now, as I say in the survey, understanding your personality and others should never be used to stereotype or pigeonhole somebody, but it can be used to build empathy so we understand each other better, and it can be used to help fit a person into a situation where they will get the most fulfillment and usefulness and productivity, and that situation will be benefited by that person, or train them or prepare them for that situation because we see that there's a gap in that person's preferences and strengths and the needs of that situation. So personality assessment can be very helpful and very powerful, but it should be used to help the person and help the situation, not to stereotype somebody just so we can say we've got them figured out. Hope that makes sense. Hope that's helpful to you. Tune in next time and we will start a separate video on openness and take each of the domains one at a time, and then make some more general applications for things like family and work, etc. And I hope to see you then.
At the release date of this video, I am stationed with Research Development and Engineering Command, RDECOM, at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland. Because the majority of our personnel are in this area, I spend most of my time here. I do, however, travel to our distant units based on command priorities and budget. I place these videos on YouTube for broad visibility to Army personnel and their families, but I hope the videos will be helpful to others too. If you are assigned to RDECOM and want to request specific topics by video, training on site or by VTC, or confidential counseling on site or by secure webcam, you can contact me at jeffrey.d.dillard.mill@mail.mil.